Hello fellow pilots, I'm Major Payne and this is another episode of Dogfights, and today I'm gonna show you two battles on American server up against very good players, just like my wingman and his friends on American server, which I'd be lucky to run into, and thanks to these new friendships I can go up against such a good flights. And so that's gonna be very interesting battle. So let's get into it straight away, and what I'm doing here, I'm going straight for the factory on the map where we have like two garrisons, two airstrips and this factory in the middle, which is obviously the most important sector in this map. So I'm flying here in Beaufighter, my wingman Voltak is flying in a bomber, and so what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna just engage into the closest ground target possible. So quickly I'm gonna take out those targets, and then I'm gonna pull up to engage some planes. So I'm not aiming for the main building or those better 50 points targets. I just drop my bombs and rockets as quick as possible, and then I engage into the aerial combat, yeah, because I have this bomber pilot with me, so he gonna take out the main building and we're gonna have it anyway. So speed is essential here. We need to capture the sector as quick as possible, and we managed to do it before the enemy will take over or take out some planes and stop this process. So now I'm in a bit trouble because Beaufighter is not in I mean, he's very good heavy fighter, but I don't have a climb rate or altitude performance, so that's why I couldn't go after his P-38F, and he knows that very well, so that's why he stay on higher altitude. So he have advantage of altitude with me. So now I was going to go for the garrison, but I decided to defend the factory. That's main thing for me. But that's gonna be a struggle, as you see. I still cannot reach this guy, and I see on the minimap there's another heavy fighter incoming, so I need to turn into this new threat, and basically I show my back to this very experienced pilot, and that's the result of it, that he's going after me now, and he literally get me here. But what I can do, I'm gonna dive through those clouds, and if he don't have a mod, he don't even know where am I gonna pull up or not, so he keep following me. And then P-38F is specifically vulnerable in a dive because he loses his maneuverability in a dive a lot, like, you know, like no other plane, almost like his yeah, and he crashed. So that was kind of crash trap through the clouds. I guess he doesn't have this mod which removed the clouds, because if he would see clearly not only my marker, just my plane, then he would see that I'm gonna crash. That you could see that plane is not gonna be able to pull out from the dive, and I guess he's not using this modification. That would be my guess. Anyway, we lose this factory, which is not a good news. The enemy is doing good job over there. They have B-17 in that flight. So, and there is also a light fighter over there, specialized. And so I coordinate my effort with my wingman to recapture this factory now. So he's gonna drop the bombs. I'm gonna kill some bots or players, and that's how we're gonna recapture. So this is 60 capture points, but I see enemy is coming straight for the bomber. So KW is going right after my wingman, and I'm a bit late here, so I'm on the edge of my range, and of course I overheat my cannons. But anyway, it's turned out well. We managed to recapture, even though my wingman been shot down, but eventually we recapture the factory very quickly, and that's a huge success. So we have this main sector in the game, which is very important. So if it's happened that we're gonna hold it for 2 minutes, then we're gonna get this extra 80 capture points, which is a great boost for the winning. But we're not gonna stay on this factory now and come there and kill the bots, because bots mainly they are not capable of taking over this factory quickly. So I prefer to go and capture some other sectors, but I have also a very good teammate, I guess, here, which managed to take over the garrison, so I can get back to the factory now and try to defend it. So at this point we have 4 sectors, including this most important one. So we're building advantage now in points, which is very important. And there's a bot incoming, so and I have a light fighter behind me, so it's a difficult situation, and it's getting even worse now because I have heavy fighter in front of me. Um, Turning around, but the light fighter is keep chasing me, and that's a problem here. He catch up the fire and B-17, and that's it. No, it's too many of them, and I actually add 60 capture points to this factory for the enemy team, and KW just get me. Yeah, so that would be a situation awareness. I shouldn't be in that place. I should recognize the situation. Hold on, there is light fighter going after me, and I keep going on front of myself, like to looking for another target, which I quite often do. Like if some light fighter is chasing me, I don't care much about that, and I let him waste time, and I'm going to some other targets. But that's not always gonna work out. Specifically, if you run into that guy or some good player like this. Then this plane with chasing you, it's gonna be your nail to your coffin, basically. Okay, so another attempt to recapture the same main sector, and that's what's gonna happen in the battles with good players. You have to be focused on this main sector, because that's the game it's gonna be play out. Like you constantly will be fighting for this sector. So now I see that my wingman is in trouble, and he had this good player on heavy fighter after him, so I'm using this opportunity not to help him, just to recapture this sector when he is busy. And this is good also, like, he's still alive somehow. And what is it? P-40, and this is not a good idea to get into the stall when there is light fighter nearby. Okay, FW-190. This is serious threat also for me. It's a good firepower. P-40, but P-40 gonna have a tail, I guess. No, I'm dead man here. Oops, but at least before the square line, so that's a good stuff. Just second before the square line. Yeah. So this is also important. I saw my wingman also took the new plane, and in that situation, just some good players, like probably this one on light fighter, was just waiting until the square line, and then he would finish me off, so I wouldn't be able to enter the game. So in that situation, it's better to do the water landing, let's call it this way, and take the new plane, because this is just, if I wouldn't be now in the game, it's still enough time for enemy team to turn the table on this match. And that's the P-40, which almost killed me in the square line, and now I have a chance to put him into the square line, which definitely helps because he's doing a lot here. And I save also my teammate here. So at this point it's a win. Even if we're not gonna recapture this factory, it's a win. You have too much of advantage with points, so even with 2 sectors now, I would say. We're missing only 60, less than 60 capture points. We have W190. And he just avoid head on, which is good, but he did it. That was late. Like, he shouldn't even try this head on. He should, do the evasive maneuvers earlier, so he would have HP now. But because players doing this mistake quite often, I see they go on head on, and then they realize too late that they shouldn't. But that's too late, and they lost too much of the HP. So now I can take him out with my tail gunner. So pretty basic, but never go head on with heavy fighter if you are in multi-role or light fighter. That's very obvious, but anyway, that was tough game, as you see. And we even managed to recapture this factory before the end of the game, which is great. But this is it. That's the victory, and that's what gave me most of the joy. That was a difficult game, very difficult. I don't need the first place here, but I loved the challenge like this. Very good players and very close match. And I have to say that American server is not like you can imagine, that it's not overcrowded. So basically there's much less players than European server. So if you're nostalgic about the time when we have like matches 2 against 2 or 1 against 1, so that's the server for you. You can have a try and have a fun. So I play here like already 441 battles I have on this server. Not much. I just started a couple months ago. So I'm doing 138 here. In last 20 days I have 138 battles. So I'm not playing here too often, but I play here long enough to experience that this server is much more friendlier than European server. Basically, players are with much better attitude. They're not taking anything personally. If you shoot down someone a couple times, he's not gonna insult you. He's not gonna text you after battle or stuff like this. That's not happening here. I'm sure that there are probably some exception, of course, but so far for my 441 battles, not even a single one battle, not even single player, no one ever show any toxicity. Like you can have it daily basis on European server, and this is example good one. This Spitfire player been shot down like 4 times, and he literally after the game texts me a good game and even nice bomb trap because I bomb trap him, and so that's so funny. But it's not happening. That's first time happening to me. Like basically I kill someone couple times and he says that this is good game. I'm not experienced that in European server. I mean, very rarely. There are exceptions. They are very good players also, which always will say GG, well played, and stuff like this. They have manners, but in this server, I have to say that this is like standard. There is no toxicity here, which is great. I don't want to get into details why that may be, but basically, this is very friendly place, I have to say. The truth is also that we learn most from the lost game and from better players than from the weaker player when we can win easily. So I'm the same here. When I win easily, I'm not learning much, but when I lose the game up against such a good flight, which I did actually a couple of times in this server, I learn from it and I can get better. And that's why you never see me whining or insulting other players in a game chat or after the battle in a private messages. That's not me. I'm not doing that. I never did and I never will. I just prefer to spend my time to analyze the battle and learn something from it. Okay, let's get into another battle. So here we go. 3 garrisons and 2 airbase. As you probably know, enemy airbase is 180 capture points. When it's neutral, it's only 140 capture points, and garrisons are 120 capture points when it's red and 100 when it's neutral. So basically you see the difference, that the airbase is much more difficult to capture than garrisons, but it's worth to take out the airbase because the airbase is not only giving you the opportunity to repair your plane, which could be useful in such a map because on those maps the sectors are so close to each other, then sometimes it's worth to get there and repair your plane instead of getting new plane from the rest point. Plus on airbase, that's why I'm actually going to the airbase in the first place. I'm not even bother myself into engage into the fight for this first garrison. I go straight for the airbase because it's more important. And on airbase, when we capture the airbase, the respawn time from my team is reduced by 10 seconds. Of course, not gonna exceed the minimum respawn time, which is I believe 15 seconds, so we cannot go below that. But anyway, airbase, we need to take out 4 air defense aircraft in order to capture that. So that's gonna give me if you take 3 of these, that will be 120 capture point, but you need the 4th one, which is 160, and we need 140 for the neutral one. Yeah, there's an enemy plane, so or I'm gonna take out this air defense now, and that should do. Yeah, so I have it, and what I'm doing here, if you see, I ignore the bots, so I don't engage into fight with bots. Many players will now turn around and take them out, and this is a mistake because bots are unable, at least if it's only 2 or 1, then most likely they are unable to take out this to recapture this airbase. So in such a battle up against such a good flight, the most important thing is to capture sectors as quick as possible. We need to outcap them, and to do that I cannot be engaged in a fight with bots over the airbase now. Yeah, you see, I'm already over the garrison. I try to capture another sector now. I'm not defending this airbase. That airbase can defend itself. There's enough air defense aircraft. They can take out those planes, you know, those bots. But if there will be a player, I will probably will defend it. I will try to engage him and take him out. But if it's only bot, you should leave it. So now it's another air defense done. So one more for 40 capture points, and I have this garrison. There you go. So you see how quickly I can capture the sector. And airbase still standing. Airbase doesn't need me now. But enemy still is capping extremely good. So enemy have advantage now. They still have 3 sectors. So we need to work harder a little bit to capture more than our enemies. And I think there he is, that's my main opponent, and if he's over the sector I need to engage him. So this is a contested sector and there is a dogfight, always, like, you can't ignore him. I could go after air defense now, but I have to take out the player first, because to leave him alive here, that would be like suicidal. And someone else destroyed a plane here and some bot, and that's why I recaptured that so quickly. So now I decide to go for the garrison. Airbase is not, when it's red, you have to remember that this player, which I just killed, he most likely will be reborn and he will choose this airfield to start his game. So that's why airbase are so difficult to capture when they are enemy airbase, because in any moment enemy players can respawn over there, and then you won't even notice that this player is actually going right behind you now. And that's why that's so difficult to capture the airbase. Okay, we capture that. I'm very low on HP, would be nice to have repair. That's look very bad for me, like enemies are all over the place. I'm over the enemy sector, and that's how this finished. Yeah, that had no sense. That was pointless a little bit. I could go to repair my plane and then come back with full HP. I didn't manage to do anything on this sector anyway, so you see, basically this action here was a waste of time. I could be now on the airbase at this point, repairing my plane, and I could go back, I can get back to the middle after I repair my plane. I will have better chance. Or at least I should wait until my, like you see on the map now, there's a lot of my teammates over the garrison in the middle. So if you're on your own and you get killed, you can blame only yourself. This is basically the thing. Yeah? You can't go on your own when there's a couple of the enemies. So far they still have advantage slightly. So this is a secret weapon of my heavy fighter. You see, this tail gunner have very good range, and if you not pay attention, you are out of the range. See, that's what happened. Yeah, I get killed here, but the sector in the middle being captured before that, so let's say that's okay. Yeah, so enemy have 2 heavy fighters, Ki-45 and P-38F, and my wingman is on XP-44, which is very good plane also, but it's not so good as heavy fighter, I would say. Obviously, heavy fighter have advantage of their altitude and rate of climb, obviously, so they can always try to pick him up and get back to the high altitude. So it's very difficult to defend yourself against the heavy fighter when you are in low altitude multi-role fighter. Okay, so square line is coming, and this is very important moment in a game when you're going up against good players. That's always gonna end up in a square line, because both teams are capping the sectors really well. So you see, like, it's not a matter of the points now, it's a matter of who gonna shut down enemy planes. And so I'm preparing my enemy here. I fire at him from a distance, and there's another enemy here also, so It's a very risky situation, but I need to take out the Ki-45 first because it's a more maneuverable plane which can easily outmaneuver me and take me out. There we go, that's a success because that was in a square line. And now I'm a bit in a trouble, but tail gunner go into the action again, and my enemy also have one of my teammates bot on his tail, which is unfortunate for him. And thanks to this, I take out basically 2 enemy players in a square line. And this is huge success now. Because now, even if we would losing this battle like 100 or 200 points now, let's say 100 more they have, we're still gonna win that because we can recapture everything when they're not here. Those players are not in the game anymore, so that make much easier for me, you know. That was a bit risky, but look, I could go now for the airbase to repair myself, but because there are no more enemy players, I mean, no those 2 heavy fighter, there's 1 more player in an enemy team, but plane repair itself to the point that that will be enough. At least for most of the bots that's enough, and time is essential here basically. So I mean, now we're winning the game anyway, so I don't have to be in a rush now, but I don't feel any threat that I would be I can be shot down because of my low HP, so that's why I don't have to go to the airbase now. Maybe in this point I could be shot down because that was full HP plane, but still I was fighting over my sector, and air defense aircraft helped me to take out this F4F. You see, GG, well played. So the guy is not mad that I shot him down, he just throw the GG and he going for another battle. He's not whining or not insulting anyone, and I mean it, like, this server is way better. The behavior here, players behave much better. They are much more positive and much more nicer. So that's it. That's the last plane. And as I said, that kind of match always will finish in a square line, because if there are 2 good flights, they are pretty equally capture the sectors to the point that the square line will decide about winning or losing. So you have to be careful because it's really easy to miss that. And now in the background you can see what I got from viewers as a present for this American account. So I get the pilot's premium account and specialized equipment, gold, and plane. Maybe Ki-8 is not the plane which I will fly, but definitely it's a hangar space, which is very useful also. And what else? There is another crate, gold, materials which are very useful for new players, and Mustang 1, which is actually a great plane, tier 6 light fighter in British Tech Tree. You can't have it in a game client, but you can have a different one with cannons, but this one is very rare, and I definitely gonna make some video about this one in the future because it's very interesting plane. And I take this opportunity to say again thank you to the players which sent me those crates. I'm appreciated, and guys, that's very helpful for that new account, and I'm appreciative of this. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, that would be it in this video. I hope you guys like it, found it useful. If so, please leave me a like and subscribe for future content, and see you guys in the next one. Take care.